What's going on, y'all? What is popping? First stream of 2022. And this one's going to be a good one. Okay, what's going on, y'all? Where's everyone checking in from? What's up? What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Okay. What's popping? What's up, Fairgirl Australia? Shout out to Australia, by the way. Hit the like button, subscribe, comment, donate, show support. Thank you. Shout out to Australia. Fairgirl Australia, to be exact. What happened? Someone educate me. We're just starting. So we're gonna jump into it. And this is the reason why I'm doing this video is just because of recent revelations. We'll get into that here. Hi from Wisconsin, Missouri. Happy to catch this live. I'm happy you're catching it too. Hey, yeah. Central Valley, Phoenix, Ventura. Okay. Hammertown, USA. Miami. Okay. Well, as you guys can see by the title, can everyone hear me okay, by the way? I just want to make sure we chilling with the oh, Mr. Grow It. Yo, shout out to the big homie. Mr. Grow It, the legend. Shout out to San Diego, Humboldt, NorCal. Hell yeah. Yo, so drama in the cannabis industry. So this is not drama. This is old drama, and I really wouldn't have done this video. I wouldn't have done this live if there wasn't these recent revelations, and this is also in the past. But I also think that this is a really important aspect of cannabis history. Okay, in modern cannabis history. I think that's why it needs to be talked about, right? So shout out to, by the way, I gotta say this, the legends over at First Smoke of the Day. Shout out to Pax God. Shout out to Black Leaf. They've been absolutely crushing it. One of my favorite shows out right now by far. Getting some of the best guests, some of the best interviews. They're literally helping unlock a lot of this history, a lot of this culture. And they've just been crushing it. I can't tip my hat off enough to them. Absolutely love them. If you guys, by the way, if you want to subscribe to their YouTube channel, I have the first link in the description of this live stream. It'll take you to the Connected Cannabis interview that they just did. So go subscribe, go watch it, go check it out. Right. Shout out Ellen's tapping in from the East Coast. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What does this drama mean for the call? It's not drama. It's old. Quinn. It's my big brother. All right. So, as you guys can see by the title, right? What did I title this motherfucker? I titled it Cookies and Connected Cannabis, a Necessary Conflict. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we're going to get into this, but I think that, I've stayed away from this issue. I've stayed away from this story because I'm not anymore, though. I think it's kind of resolved now. And I think, like I said, it's an important aspect of cannabis history, especially modern cannabis history. When we talk about branding, we talk about the trajectory of cookies, cannabis being a multi-billion-dollar industry, multi-billion-dollar company. Without this whole connected, aspect of the history of cookies, you could make an argument that cookies would not be in the position it is today. Okay. Now we're going to go over, first of all, obviously we're going to be going over the, thank you, big brother. I appreciate you, big bro. But we're going to be going over, right, obviously First Smoke of the Day, the interview with Caleb, Counts, the founder of Connected. Obviously that dude is a triple OG legend. Mad respect to him. Mad respect to obviously Burner. Both of them making headway in this, in this industry. But for people that aren't aware, right, there was a kind of turmoil going on back in the day, a couple, 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember the exact times of it between cookies and connected. You ever wonder why cookies and connected have very similar, first of all, color patterns, overall, there's a reason for that, right? All right, but we're gonna jump into this because I know Burner and all their people, they're probably gonna hate me talking about this. I'm not sure if I don't really know if Connected really cares or anything, but I personally think that this is important to talk about when it comes to the historical aspect of showcasing, you know, I think without Connected, Burner and Cookies, or Burner really specifically, wouldn't have maybe had this masterful understanding of brand, of, leveraging celebrity, leveraging clout, right? All that stuff. Okay. So let's jump into the first smoke of the day uh, interview, and then we'll start there. Right. Now, and guys, like, this was a pretty heated beef. I know that Cookies and Alien Labs are now doing a collab. They did a collab last year, which was a massive deal. A lot of people may not know, but like, it was a massive deal because obviously Alien Labs is connected to Connected. And there was, like I said, it got a little bit, they're beefing. All right, so let's start with first smoke of the day. By the way, please go subscribe, go support the homies. They're doing absolutely amazing service for the culture, for the industry, and for us, to be able to be educated, to get educated on this stuff. All right, let's jump into this. We're gonna go over this, and then we're gonna go. I've paced. I've slowly been kind of piecing together this whole story for a while now, but I never really heard the Connected side of it, Caleb side, right? Um, and so thanks to First Smoke of the Day, they connected that last piece roughly. I'm sure there's a lot more to it, but right. So we're gonna go over this. We're gonna go over Caleb talking. We're gonna go over Burner talking, and then we're gonna go over some other specifics around here, as you guys can see there. Okay. Let's start with First Smoke of the Day. We're gonna break this down, and yeah.
In the sack in the SF shop, and it would just fucking fly. And it was not good look. Sometimes it would be decent. It smelled really good.
By the way, please hit the like button, share. Trust me, guys, you're not getting this kind of coverage from anyone else. Okay, I don't care here. Okay, at this point, there's so many politics in this industry. But I've started to realize, like, anyway, let's keep going.
Sometimes it was just so ugly, but as long as it had 20%, 30% purple gradient on it, it flew. But you would get these batches that were solid green, and luckily they're few and far between, and we'd try to work with them. But once we did the deal and paid them all this money, and now we're growing sherbet, we don't need to buy, like, we're going to grow it better than you, that we're hoping, and we're doing it at scale.
Always the goal.
Yeah. And so right off the bat, things got weird quick in that deal.
Okay, so Caleb was describing the deal that starts out. So there's two different deals that they had. So they had the deal with Connected, right? And Connected wasn't really around at this time period, in this time, because Caleb and his business partner, his name was Luke, apparently. Shout out to my name too, Luke. So they had deals with Burner and then Cookies Fam Genetics, I believe, right? And so these two deals, right? We're gonna explore this whole, the deal. I think Burner at one point is getting paid about $140,000 a month from Caleb and Connected, and yeah. So let's keep going.
Sherbinski, he was pretty cool. Sherbinski was pretty cool, and he made some posts and they helped. But Jigga was like, I'm not making any posts. Like, you literally just signed a contract where we gave you, almost $100,000 and a contract that can pay you close to that on a monthly basis. If everything is moving forward, all you have to do is post on Instagram. Wouldn't do it.
because of you growing the flower so well that it dropped off sales for the other flower coming in?
They didn't even have flower. There was no cookies commercial production except for Sherbinsky's 36 light, but Jigga wasn't growing and selling anything to my knowledge at the time. And so, but no, he was just like, I won't post it. Like, I gave you the cuts, that's good enough. It was this weird like pride. I don't know what it was. I wasn't dealing with him directly.
The light was getting shine pretty bright on you.
Yeah, but he was just like, we're not posting. And we're like, but Stravinsky would. And my partner Luke was like, we just gave you all this money. His contract contemplates a lot of money. You got to fucking perform. You have to post. And then, so we didn't resolve it. And then Stravinsky grows a super green batch. And we are.
And let me put a little bit more of context here, right? Now, this I could be a little off here. Like I listened to this interview. I know that Caleb is originally from parts of LA, but ends up moving more up to Sacramento. So there's the crowd of, and Caleb's like a Sacramento legend, like triple OG. Right? This is what I've been told, right? And right, so you got the crowd kind of in Sacramento, this kind of, it's the Caleb crowd, the connected crowd, we'll call that. And then we kind of have more of the Bay Area, Frisco, which is like Burner or Jigga, and then Sherbinsky and stuff. So those are kind of the two kind of sides here, right?
First harvest was coming down in like a week, and he came to the store when Luke wasn't there, and he sold 15 pounds at $3,600 a pound to his manager. And was like, oh, Luke said to bring him in or whatever. And the manager called Luke. He's like, I never said that. He's like, dude, we can't take your fucking green sherbet. It's not going to work. Like, we got our own coming in, and it's not good. If it was good, I could take it and I could move it.
And your crop's coming in purple, and you know what's coming.
And he went down the street and he sold it to one of our competitors, and then shouted out that competitor fucking on Instagram, and hadn't done us for a while. And then Jigga shouted out the competitor too, and had never shouted out us. It's like, what in the fuck?
And you had handed over a lot of money to them.
Yeah. And that's how the deal broke up. It didn't even last that long, but we paid a lot of money. I don't think people were clowning us. The few people that knew were laughing at us for paying that kind of money for cuts. Like, you paid, it was unheard of. Like, you paid that kind of fucking money. You're an idiot. It's not even worth it. I can get you this cut and that cut for fucking free.
But you know what you had, and you knew now I have the gas for the car, and we're about to drive this thing home.
So that broke up that relationship. We're like, we clearly can't. You're not willing to do what you just agreed to do, and we're gonna fuck. We paid you a lot of money. We're gonna keep growing it. And so we broke up at that point, but we were still under a separate contract with Burner, the cookies licensing deal, and that just kept fucking doing better and better for us. And
okay. So like I said, there was the two deals, right? There was the genetics play more so, right? That was more with Jigga, kind of the Bay Area, or I guess Sacramento's not part of the Bay Area, right? So Frisco area, right? Sherbinsky, Jigga, that was the genetics play. Cookies Fam Genetics, right? And then there's the other deal with Burner, which he's going to talk about right now.
It opened up San Francisco, and we opened up Stockton, and it just blew up those locations. The San Francisco one is the one we actually called Cookies, and it just became the spot.
Like, is that the one that was on Height, or
no? It's on Mission.
Mission.
Yeah, it's Mission. That was the one we used to go to.
Yeah.
Unbelievable store. Had the high tech. Yeah. You had,
lemonade,
all the stuff.
all that. Yeah, that was popping.
Yeah, Luke knew where to source the best shit. He had the Seaballs.
So let me clarify this too for people that maybe that are watching that maybe not be aware. So what I like, Burner has been absolutely. I mean, he's brilliant. He was brilliant with, like, I always talk about on my YouTube channel about, small business, up and coming entrepreneurs that don't have a ton of capital, right? Like, how do you find lean business models to leverage into bigger plays, right? But Burner's been brilliant about it, right? He's one of the pioneers of this, right? So he started out. So Cookies originally, right, was a clothing company. Okay, up until technically it was just a clothing company until 2018. Well, they were licensing out, the name to obviously Connected, Caleb. But I just want to make that clear, right? So let's keep going.
You'd have the rosin. You guys had peach rings rosin. Remember that?
Yeah.
Before we were like rosin.
Peach rings.
I mean, you had stuff from like the guys in Humboldt would come down direct to you.
It was real NorCal Bay Area flavors.
The staple. If you were going to the Bay, you went there.
How did that deal work out? How did that deal come together? How did that work out? Did you guys go
where you call the cookies?
The cookie fam. Mm-hmm. So there's the cookie fam deal, and then there's the burner cookies deal.
The burner cookies deal, where you call it cookies.
So for the dispensaries, how did you guys end up working that out?
So it was just a monthly fee. We started off Sacramento, it was like $5,000 a month, and then we added Stockton, and I think it went to 15,000 total. But none of those were called cookies. He would just shout them out. And then San Francisco, we called.
Oh, it's live. It's live. First live stream of 2022, by the way. By the way, hit the like button, share this, comment down below. Let's keep going.
Cookies, and we gave him $25,000 a month to call it that. So I think between the two, he was getting like 40,000. And then we opened up a San Jose location.
So he didn't have any ownership in that.
No ownership. No.
But a check every single month. Yeah. And is he helping you?
And that's the first cookies dispensary.
Well, the one in San Jose, they called it the Cookie Co. So technically, yes. The one in San Francisco is the first cookies.
Right.
They just bit off the name and called it Cookie Co. And because they didn't want to pay for the cookies name, that was what the word was. So we paid up to put the cookies name. And yeah, San Francisco was the first true cookies dispensary.
Yeah, I think that was like the premier shop.
Yeah.
By the way, too, I'm sorry. Shout out to First Smoke of the Day. Shout out to Pax God. Shout out to Black Leaf. Fucking, this is needed for the culture, man. Go subscribe.
Where it was like flavors and that was a staple, huge staple.
Yeah. People, I still to this day, people are telling me stories. I'll see them in all parts of the state, and they're like, dude, I used to drive so far to that spot to either get like some of the fucking shit that they were, some of the concentrates, Southern Humboldt concentrate. What was it? Southern Humboldt
Terp Farm, Southern Humboldt concentrates. Yeah.
They were, that was the fucking jumping off
the
spot.
Skittles.
Yeah, for that shit, and people were coming from everywhere for it. And then the gelato, once you started dropping gelatos there, it was the R3 shops were the only place you could get it for a long time.
It was a scene too. You park on the side of the street, you walk down, you go in.
The parking is a nightmare.
You guys, it was like you were bumping some music.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of this model. Okay, we're gonna go into the specifics once we get to burner, right? So, like I said, so we're going over the Caleb part here first. And then we're going to go over burner, kind of talking about the situation, kind of being, he's not being specific about anything, right? Like I said, come on, I got y'all. I'm gonna let y'all into the, I mean, I'm sure many of y'all watching right now know about this whole situation, but for the people that don't, man, I got y'all. You're not getting this anywhere else. So we're gonna go with Caleb, and then we're gonna go to burner, and then we're gonna get into it. It's about to get saucy, okay?
It was just a vibe. The whole thing was a vibe. Then you go back to your car, roll up. I mean, the whole deal.
Yeah. Luke did Luke was killer at retail. He did a fantastic job. He just knew how to, his ability to run a permitted shop like a trap shop is fucking, that's how you make it a vibe, right? It just feels like that when you just make it feel just super, just authentic.
And you were on Instagram earlier. You had a girl taking photos of bud rotating in a small box by the front window. Like that was her duty. Like, you make sure we're popping on Instagram because we got fire coming in.
Yeah.
So you'd walk in and look to the left and there's a girl taking photos and doing the whole, and we're looking at it like, holy shit, you see this?
Yeah.
Like shout out to him, man. I mean, you guys were way ahead of your time.
Yeah. Luke mastered social media marketing for dispenser. Like he knew how to get it popping. His shops were never glamorous. The build outs weren't spent we didn't spend hardly any. Towards the end, we started spending more towards the end of our retail building shit, but they were simple. Just get as many people in and out as quick as possible. And whatever it takes to do that, and everything else is a waste of fucking time and money and a waste of fucking space. Like he fucking knew how to do it.
You always have fire.
Yeah, he did. So that, God, where do we go? What is it doing next after that? So we kept doing, and the store numbers of stores kept growing with Burner, and we did a Santa Ana one. At some point, we're paying the guy like $100,000 a month just on just a check, just for the name, the licensing of the name, and but then he started out of nowhere one day. He starts a fucking brand called Exotics with Ivan. A competing, like, we're literally paying you. We've got this other contract. Like, we're growing the gelatos. We're doing all this. We're paying you. And now you just started a competing flower company with somebody who's giving you $100,000 a month. And that's when the relationship, we were like, whatever. We sucked it up, still kept paying.
So I've covered, I haven't fully covered this, I guess, the exotic story, but in the Jungle Boys high design documentary, right, we talk about that. I know that in the First Smoke of the Day podcast with Ivan, which came out pretty recently, he talks about it a little bit. And then also Burner has talked about it too on a No Jumper podcast as well. Kind of, anyway, I don't want to go into that right now. We're going to focus on this, but that's 2018, right?
In it because we're fucking making money. The name was fucking big. I can't deny.
Like I said, guys, bro, I know many of you guys watching know, but there's so many fucking politics in this shit. It's crazy, bro. Like when I be doing these stories, man, I swear to God, I'm fucking duck, dive, dodge, fucking dude. A lot of politics, bro.
I had the cookies name drew a ton of people to our retail. We're giving our bags with the gelato and the sherbet credibility. And so our relationship kind of started to sour after that. It just was never the same. He stopped promoting us because he's promoting other things and he was just doing other deals. And we got frustrated, but it still didn't matter. We had to have the name, so we just kept letting it go. And then one day I'm like,
and this is how powerful brand is. This is how powerful the brand identity is. And this is what Burner has really been a pioneer in, right? Building brand, right? Even though in Caleb's eyes, right, he was doing all this shit, starting, Burner was doing exotics, all that, still had to keep going because that brand was strong, right? And they were making money. And let me just say this real quick too, by the way. All of these people we're talking about, Caleb, Burner, these are all people that they're doing good business. At the end of the day, all of these people are low-key sharks when it comes to business. They're good businessmen, right? Like this is how cutthroat this game could be, right? And in business in general. But so I just want to say that too.
So it was the biscotti. I think the biscotti. Yeah, the biscotti dropped first. So Luke one day is like, so we got these gelatos. We've got to come up with the next best thing. Like we can't ride these forever. Like people are going to want new shit. So we kicked off a breeding program, and Luke had this grower, his contract grower, doing some stuff for us in SAC. And he's like, start making some crosses, and they made the cross, which ended up being the biscotti cross. And it was labeled RC 14, 25, 27, and 28. And RC stood for Red Cup because we popped the seeds in a Red Cup, old school style. And Luke's had this idea. He's like, let's have Burner promote it. We can't just like pop off this strain and it's going to have no association with cookies. People are going to be like, what the fuck is this? So we brokered a deal with Burner.
Even though the relationship had already kind of.
Yeah. It was, but Luke doesn't really give a fuck where relationships are at. I was always a relationship person. So I'd let shit get I just couldn't even I'm just so mad that the deal went the way but Luke was like, whether he hated you or loved you, it didn't fucking matter. What's the straightest line to the dollar? And that's why he was so good. I learned a lot from Luke in that.
Luke had no emotions in that sense, right? And that's kind of what you want business, right? Low key, don't want emotions.
Just take the fucking emotion out of it and just get it done.
Work with logic.
Yeah, and he did. And he was brilliant for him to do that. So Burner came up with the name Biscotti. We selected the phenos. We wrote a contract. We brought Jigga back in, gave him some back pay on some gelatos, said, sorry, we want to make it right, and fucking basically caught up on the contracts on what would have been his half, brought him back in, and we were like, let's say you guys created Biscotti and fucking promote it. And it blew up. And it worked. And we didn't care. We had no ego. We don't need to say at that time, we're like, we don't need to fucking take claim. It's better for our finances if fucking they may take credit for it. So they took credit publicly online. And
that was huge of you.
Yeah. And we paid them. We paid them to do it. It was my fucking partner's idea. And
who really created Biscotti then?
We did.
You created Biscotti.
Absolutely. There we go. We fucking created it without question.
They named it. They
named it. It was
named it.
I thought that. I'm like, what? Biscotti? It's a dry, flavorless cookie. It's fucking terrible. But when you...
All right, guys. So we're gonna come back to that really quick. But guys, hit the like button. We got a good show for you here. Okay. I've been piecing this together slowly, right? Like, all right. Let's go over this though. And this is from 2019.
Hey, what up, y'all? There's a little bit of controversy on a few of the lyrics from my song Top Down off the El Chihuahua. Let me break it down for y'all. Cookie Fan provided the genetics for Biscotti and Gushers. Right? Not only that, I hand selected and smoked through many bags to find those two phenos. The group gave me the phenos. I went through them all. I found them. And when I found them, I named them. I named Biscotti and I named Gushers. Not only did I select them and name them, I went on a worldwide campaign with them motherfuckers and popped it off. I rapped about it in my songs. I brought it to the artists, to the athletes, to the elite smokers and, influencers in the world. I was repping Biscotti so hard, I almost named, and Scott Storch is my witness, the Big Biscotto Biscotti. Like literally almost named my album Biscotti, and I rapped about it in so many songs. And trust me, I really campaigned hard for all those. And all I'm trying to say is this, without getting into too much detail, because it doesn't even matter, I'm at a good point in my life. If I put in all that work and all that effort to hand select, to name, to blow this shit up globally, everybody knows about Biscotti because of me. And I'm no longer participating in that. And I can't grow it myself, and I have it, and I can't use the names for anything, then why would I fuck with it? Why would I smoke it? And it's nothing personal to the group.
All right.
You guys do your thing. It's just what I'm on.
All right, you guys seeing, right? We're seeing the tension here, obviously, right? Let me just play this back here.
We're like, we don't need to fucking take claim. It's better for our finances if fucking they may take credit for it. So they took credit publicly online. And
that was huge of you.
Yeah, and we paid them. We paid them to do it. It was my fucking partner's idea. And
who really created this?
You guys see what I'm saying, right? You see what I'm saying?
And people have to respect it because I'm not putting in work that I don't benefit off.
So the tension, right? And there's always this tension, especially like in the cannabis industry, right? There's the people, like there's especially from the breeders, the growers, and then the finance people. Now, I know Caleb and that their whole team, they had growers, they had that going too as well. So I don't want to say like they're just finance people, but right, they're the ones that fund it, they're the ones that technically own it or whatever, right? They let Burner take the public credit for it, even though he was the one who named it. Right. So you guys see, right?
I've been grinding for too long, and the weed game is the weed game, and business is business. And like I said, no disrespect to them boys. Do your thing, mate. Flex on them as much as you can, but I ain't fucking with it. Now, with that being said, Gary Payton, Cereal Milk, yeah, Chocolate, the Flan, London.
So you see, these are all of the modern day cookies strain. A lot of the ones, like 3 out of the 4 you just named right there, are like staples of like the menu that's been the last couple years for cookies. Right, and this is the cookies Cannabis, right? The cookies company that's been separated at this point from Connected.
Cello, Cheetah Piss, a whole nother variety about to hit the market, a whole new flavor profile, everything from mints, which is by C Junkie, shout out to C Junkie. From the Runts crew, yeah, from Ground to Floor, from Powers Up, from Cookies. Big menus coming. New flavor profiles coming. Old work is old work. The new work, well, that's the new work. So same way we ran it up, we're gonna run it up again. Cookies. Now, one more thing. Purple punch. Look, no disrespect to the
The purple punch, bro. It's like the Bubba. Anyway, guys. All right. So we see what we got. So I had to hold up.
California right now is a bunch of people are growing it.
All right. So so I saw somebody say who watched so that's what we were watching. So you just popped in right when I switched here. So we're gonna go back now to the Caleb first smoke of the day podcast. I just want to give some reference. Caleb brings up biscotti, right? Man, hit the like button, by the way. Share this. Appreciate that.
Then.
We did.
You created biscotti.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Fucking created it without question.
They named it. They named it.
They named it. It was
named it.
I thought that. I'm like, what? The biscotti? It's a dry, flavorless cookie. It's fucking terrible. But when you say it and it fucking raps good, it's like. But when you say that biscotti sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah,
but
shout out to Kato.
It's a flavorless.
We got to get into that too. We got to get into that.
A dry flavorless cookie.
Like that's hilarious.
It's exactly what you wouldn't want weed associated with.
But when you smoke the strain and it makes total sense, and it's like, yup. Yeah, I mean, phenomenal, bro. Yeah. Phenomenal branding. This is the start of weed branding right here. We're hearing.
Yeah.
Right there. So Blackleaf just hit a really, really good critical point. So this is the start of weed branding. So guys, the story of cookies and burner, right? It's obviously been, I mean, it's obviously massively, at least the origins, of it are massively intertwined connected with Caleb, right? See, what I've been told by, some of my big homies, right, in Cali, right, Sacramento, like I've been told that like Caleb is this dude who like been having tons of medical stores, like a straight hustler, right? Been building he's been building up infrastructure since medical, like hustler, right? So he has some, money, right? So you guys can see, right? There's all right, let's keep going actually.
So how'd you guys work the deal with that?
So we paid him on a per pound basis for a set amount of time. There was an upfront fee. Luke was always smart too to get people really excited and bought in. He's like, I'll pay you 6 months in advance or 12 months in advance of whatever. And then it's hard for people to say no for that. You can say no to $5-10 grand a month when you're getting offered 50-60 up front. Like, even if you didn't want to do the deal, it's going to be a little hard when that's staring you in the face. Super smart tactic from him. He would prepay back in the day. He would prepay per people's harvest. Be like, I'll give you the cash right now. I just need your weed. Like, at any price. It was just, he had the mentality, you get the best. If you want the best, you got to get the best, whatever fucking method it takes. It's super smart. So we did that, and we just grew it for a while. And then that was in 2016 that we did the project, and you could get a little bit of biscotti in 2016, but it was really started to get out there in 2017. And that was right around the time when I started realizing, I'm like, look, the tension between, we're paying this guy way too much for there to be this level of tension. Like, he was starting to ask for equity in our company or more money. And we're like, look, it's up to like 140 grand a month.
All right, that's a key component there. I think when it's, asking for equity, right? I mean, that's the smart business move, right? Like I said, these both sides, all these people, like they're making the smart business moves, right? Ownership should be the long-term goal, right? And Burner had that foresight, right? All right, let's keep going.
There's something at this point, like, we're making a lot of money, but you're making a lot of money. Let's not screw this thing up, And it just, he just wasn't happy, and he wanted to do a bunch of other things, and which I respect. It's fine. Like, we just needed to do what was best for us. And I told my partners, I'm like, we got to come up with our own brand. We have
right there. So at this point right here, right, Caleb connected. Let's finish this up.
A year left on the contract.
Watch this.
No one knows who the fuck we are.
No one knows who the fuck we are. So there's the front side and the back side, right? The back side, you call that financing, you call that more infrastructure, right? You could I think the backside in this current moment, right, that we're talking about, that's the connected side. That's the Caleb side. The front side is the brand side, right? The brand recognition, the brand equity, right? You need both sides, but at this point, Caleb's realizing, okay, we need to create our own brand because we're finna get locked out of this, right? It's just the cards are stacking up like that. And like I said, I'm trying to be biased. I'm just trying to dissect this business wise for you guys. The smart move, Burner made the smart move. this is and Connected made the smart move. And I want to say this too. What I think is beautiful too. Now that we're years, it's been years since this whole thing had happened, and this is why Caleb can come on and talk about it and all this. Both Connected and Cookies, they're balling out. They're super successful. It should be water under the bridge, right? But it's cutthroat as fuck. You're right.
We are responsible. We grew 100% of Cookies commercial cultivation from 2014 to 2018. No one else was growing Cookies genetics and putting them in Cookies bags with the blessing or like the verified genetics of Burner and the people that created them. And so, but no one knew who the fuck we were, and we had to take credit for that. So I was like, we come up with another company name, change the packaging, but we let people know. We started an Instagram account and let people know it's the new company. And I was like, Connected, like, it works in so many ways. You got
and so you see, that's why when we look at, and I never knew this until, the last couple of years when I started to slowly understand this whole story. But like, I was always like, why does Connected look so similar to Cookies? Like just the colors, the color palettes, all that. Right. Okay.
The fucking connect. You're connected relationship wise to people.
Did you labor over that for days, or did you just sit there in a meeting and it just came to you?
It wasn't even in a meeting. I was on Instagram and I had seen a t-shirt that I thought I read it. It was a dope shirt. I don't even remember the brand. And I thought it said Connected and it didn't. I forget what else. It just, because it was old English writing. And I was like, and I assumed it said Connected. And I was like, fucking Connected. I'm like, that's fucking perfect. I'm like, and I was like, but for sure it's been taken. It has to be. Like, how could Connected not be taken? Searched everywhere, wasn't taken. And I was like, that's it. Partners agreed on it, got the different logos drafted up, still the original logo that we came up with. And so we started telling people. And
yeah, you funny, dog.
But, he's still under contract and we were still paying him a bunch of fucking money. And so he just kept on. Like, he wasn't pleased with it, but whatever.
Did he keep promoting?
No. By this time he had even before that,
still paying him, and
we're still paying him because we're using the name on the dispensaries. And it had started to probably dwindle in value a little bit, but was still worth it for the most part. So we were still paying him, and he had stopped promoting quite a while before that.
I want to highlight this one more time again. This is the power of brand, right? This is where the little guy can win. If you have brand, you've got loyal customers. You got a decent amount of people, a large amount of people, customers, right, that have bought into the ideology or the representation that the Cookies brand holds, right? That's brand equity, right? A large group of people buying into a brand that represents certain ideals. Okay, that's customer loyalty, because at the end of the day, right, consumerism is how we communicate to the rest of the world, right? What we eat, what we buy, right? What we eat, what we wear. Sorry, I don't know what we eat. Anyway, what we buy, what we eat, what we wear. These are all communications to the outward world, right? So if I'm rocking a Cookies sweatshirt, I'm telling the rest of the world, hey, I identify with this, these ideals that represent in the brand. That is the power of brand. Even though Burner stopped promoting, Caleb, like Connected shit, like stop promoting their side shit, right? It was a pretty, at this point, it seems like the relationship was not that good. But they kept paying him because of the brand. That's the power of brand.
Did he have any other retail platforms up until this point?
No.
Hit the motherfucking like button, share, go subscribe to First Smoke of the Day. Go subscribe. Also subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed.
Because I think Cookies Maywood was their first shop.
Yeah, shout out to the homies over there for real.
Yeah,
that was your good friends.
Yeah, I think that was his first shop, and I don't think that was till like 2019, maybe. So I don't think he had anything else going on. My memory could be missing it, but I don't think he had anything else going on at that point.
Yo, doggy, we're not talking about Illinois right now, okay? If you keep spamming that shit, bro, I'm gonna make you put you on a timeout, okay? I'm not trying to do that shit, but bro, we're not talking about that right now. It's obvious, okay? Please don't do that.
He was the face of, the production and the retail that you and your partner Luke are running this company.
Yeah,
which is now today known as Connected.
Correct.
Wow. I think that's going to be shocking for a lot of people to learn that.
Yeah.
That up until that point, really, Cookies is just a clothing brand.
Right. Yeah, up until 2000. I mean, Chervinsky was selling Sherbert, but he didn't do it with any packaging. And I don't remember, he was like either part of the Cookie fam or not officially, or I don't know the whole story.
Hundreds of lights up and you had production.
Yeah, we only had 105 lights. At that time, because we had shrunk back down, I had torn all that down. We had 105 lights. So 100% of Cookies commercial production from 2014 to probably 2016 was 105 lights. Then we got another 135 in Sacramento, another 48.
How do you find the growers to run these?
They have been from colleges and
run they're there and back. Someone's never been
different, but the guy who runs our best spot right now. So the deal had
2017.
The deal went into 2008. I think it ended in 2018 or 2019. So we kept paying until the end of the contract and just decided to part ways.
Which is good business.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That's
shout out to Pat Gods. He knows this is good business. That is good. Let's rewind this real quick.
So it's not this or that, it's both. And everyone has their place, but shout out Hunter, that's huge.
Yeah, he's been putting it down for a long time.
That
guy's been through all the craziest shit.
So all the names start to get changed over, connected.
Yeah.
All the shops and the branding, you start jars.
What happened? The deal ran out. You were still paying. What ended up happening?
So the deal had
2017.
The deal went into 2008. I think it ended in 2018 or 2019. So we kept paying until the end of the contract and just decided to part ways.
Which is good business.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That's strategy. It's like you said, your partner think logic over emotion. And that logically, that's the sound decision.
Yeah.
If you're running a company.
Yeah.
It's a sound decision on both sides. Okay. Right. So obviously on the Connected side, on the Caleb side, right, they realized, okay, we're getting fucked because we don't have a front side. We don't have a brand. We need to transition to Connected, right? Our own brand, our own IP, right? Because we've just been relying on the Cookies brand. Now on Burner side is smart too. They utilized the resources, right? I mean, he's getting at one point, 140K a month, 100K a month, right? Plus he's getting his brand out there in all these different stores, right? Now we're going to switch over here in the next 2 minutes over to the Burner interview on $1 million worth of game. Right. And Burner's going to talk about how he saw, he's like, the first time I saw that line outside of the old cookie store, one of the old cookie store, he realized, oh, this is it. Anyway, that'll make more sense here in a sec. We're going to finish this up and then we're going to hop over that one.
That large,
finish the contract and pay it out and then move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And they, look, and it's like a super beneficial thing for both sides. Like Cookies has gone on to be this huge fucking company. They're in all these states. We weren't 100% responsible for them being recognized as a weed brand, but we played a pretty big role in it, right? We made a lot of money. Connected would not be where it was without that relationship. So there's no hard feelings. Luke and Burner are still friends, and there's no hard feelings. It's like it's business.
Yo, that's Logan. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's getting to the point now. I've always been, I've been trying to be, anyway. Yeah. No, they're watching right now. Trust me. Trust me. They're watching right now. I promise you that.
All cohesive.
And we both like benefited significantly and are in a better place because of it. So there's no reason for any negativity on our side whatsoever.
Awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I love that. Very logical.
As it's switching over and you're telling the team and everything, how's everybody's like morality and stuff, and like what's the plan moving forward now? That the
People were
deal's
fucking
wrapping up?
nervous. People were super nervous because that was our someone else's identity was our identity, but Cookies was our identity.
Right there. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up right here. So that right there, Cookies was our identity, but it wasn't ours, right? So this is the importance of brand. I just want to highlight this. This is like I said, this is for learning. This is to, we're not just doing this to do drama time. That's not what this is for at all. Right. Okay, so that's the Caleb side. And by the way, guys, please go subscribe to First Smoke of the Day. Gotta clap it the fuck up for what they've been doing, man. They really have been absolutely putting on for the culture. Okay. That's facts. Okay. All right, let's hop over to $1 million worth of game with Burner. And we're gonna wrap this up probably next 15, 20 minutes. I want to make this right around a cool hour. Right. Please hit the like button. Like I said, y'all ain't getting this analysis anywhere else. Trust me. Okay, let's get into it. Shout out to $1 million worth of game, by the way.
And it's fucking crazy. Las Vegas is crazy.
Now,
Crazy.
when you was back there, you became the buyer for the store. When did you step off, and how much money did it take you when you stepped off to start Cookie? Like,
It's funny because I think everything one hand washed the other with all my businesses. So when I was at the store, I was real comfortable because you have to understand, here I am buying hella weed, and it's probably statute of probably gone. I was buying shit for myself too. So people are coming in with a 30 pack. I want 3,000 for this. I'm like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll take all of them if you give to me for 25, right? Take them all at that good price. Give some to the store. Take some for myself. I was like hustling, brown bag hustling, putting money in my pocket. And to me, that was rich. I didn't really know about like wealth or anything like that. What happened was the music started popping for me pretty well, and people just started thinking it was my store, right? So Cookies Clothing in very early.
So I've always talked about this. Like Burner's been brilliant about leveraging music, leveraging a celebrity, leveraging hip hop, right? His music career, right? And that's, people are assuming that that's just his store, right? So he's taking on the front end. He's becoming the face of it. He's becoming, also he owns the IP to the Cookies brand via the clothing, right? In the cannabis industry, if you want to, protect your brand name, if you want to trademark all that stuff, right? The way that you usually do it is through clothing, right? Clothing is one of the easiest ways, right? Because you can't technically trademark, cannabis name or cannabis company names yet, right? Anyway,
Stages like when I left there. So there was no Cookies by the time I left the store. It was just the music, right? And people would come by and they thought I owned that shit. Oh, Burn owns this store, but we're going to Burn's store. That's Burn's store, because they couldn't picture me working there. They didn't know what I was doing in the back, hustling and whatever. So what it took for me to leave was pretty much the fans thinking that the store was mine. The music actually starting to pick up a lot for me to where I couldn't really be there no more like that. And within like a month of me leaving there for trying to focus on the music, someone paid me a nice bag to call one of their stores in San Jose Cookies. And that's when everything changed, because I seen it. When I seen
right here, this is one of the most critical parts of this entire interview. This is one of the main parts I want to get point to. I'm going to roll it back a few seconds.
So what it took for me to leave was pretty much the fans thinking that the store was mine. The music actually starting to pick up a lot for me to where I couldn't really be there no more like that. And within like a month of me leaving there for trying to focus on the music, someone paid me a nice bag to call one of their stores in San Jose Cookies. And that's when everything changed, because I seen it. When I seen that line up, right?
So they just paid you a fee, a one-time fee, took your name and ran it back.
Monthly fee. So the homie came up and he gave me a bag. And he was like, look, I got a spot in San Jose. It's called Boo Woo. I'm about to paint Cookies on the wall, right? I know you're about to do something with Snoop. Have him pull up. Like, let's make this shit pop. So he painted the wall in San Jose. And I'll never forget, like, I saw the bigger picture there, and I knew that I was getting that little monthly bag, but I knew what I was really about to go do, because when I seen them kids lined up in the clothes, they're all wearing the clothes and they're all fired up.
I think I remember this. Was this on the internet?
Hell yeah, everything.
So this was about 3 years ago.
I think it was like 4 or 5. The one you're talking about 3 years ago was Maywood. That was in LA when we opened up that one. When the news came and all that stuff. Yeah, that was
because like around that time is when I really started getting up on you. Like I had heard of the brand, but when I seen a fucking line for some weed that was that fucking long, I'm like, what the fuck?
See, it worked weird for me because you had that one store, right, that paid me that monthly bag, and then another group approached me to do multiple stores, and I think at one point they're paying me $100,000 a month just to use the name. And to me, I hit
just to use your trademark,
just use the logo on the wall. Yeah. But it came with more than that. We gave them the genetics. We didn't have our own grows. See, we were like still street cats. You know what I mean? We didn't have our shit organized.
Lean business model, right, guys? You guys see what I'm saying? Lean business model. He's building brand. He's got genetics. Those are low. You don't need a ton of capital necessarily for that, right? Not to build brand or to do genetics, right? It's not heavy capital intensive, right? But if you want to run an entire grow, like a massive grow, or you want to run a bunch of different retailers, that takes a lot of capital. So Burner's been brilliant with the lean business model. And this channel was created. I did this channel initially because I want to see small business. I want to see the trappers. I want to see the small business, the little guy be able to win and carve out a piece of this incoming legal industry. And lean business models are the ways you win. Whenever you see a small business try to compete on scale, I mean, 99% of the time, you're about to get wiped out, dog. Create some fucking IP, create some brand, create something that a fucking massive corporation with tons of money can't necessarily just acquire on its own, or just can't just do it on its own. And building brand is building authenticity, building an image, right? And that's not massive corporations can't do that shit, right? Like that's what I'm saying. In the future, we're going to see all of these authentic from the culture brands are going to get acquired eventually, right? That's where you can win. That's where you can win. That's where you can have some leverage at the negotiating table with massive corporations.
So the whole time I'm sitting there watching and kind of planning the bigger picture, but I sat back. I'll take $100,000 a month. I'll give you some genetics that we have right now: the gelato, the sunset sherbet, the Girl Scout cookie. Shout out to my partner Mario. We license the genetics to them, let them grow that. Let them call the stores cookies, right? But in 2018, when them laws changed and went rec in California, I split away from them licensing deals, went to open up my first store under my own company. Now my company's formed. You know what I mean? It was tough to walk away from the bag. At that time, $100,000 a month was great. It allowed me to do my music, do everything I wanted to do. But when I stepped away and just, formed my own company with real partners that will handle the taxes and the business and the applications and this and that, that's when the game changed.
Yeah, and 55 million.
All right. Right here. This is an interesting point. I want to highlight this. So the model works because he's famous. Okay. Now, yes, that definitely helps out a lot, right? But there are different ways that you can leverage not just fame, right? Because there are some poppin' brands out there that you don't necessarily know who's running that shit. I mean, I feel like maybe if you're really you're really into the cannabis game, like myself, you probably might know the owner, you might know who it is. But there's a lot of poppin' brands out there that you don't necessarily know the owner. They're not honestly famous, right? Also, on a genetics standpoint, right? Genetics, if you're a breeder, right? Genetics can make you famous, right? Right? Music was just one avenue for Burner to gain clout. At the end of the day, we are in the era of social media, of clout, of notoriety. If you are known by a lot of people, yeah, you're going to be able to leverage that. It doesn't have to be just through music or like the traditional celebrity avenues, right?
Thinking is way better than 1.2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's way better just for the merch, but
That was just the merch. We ain't talked about cannabis
That's
money
what I'm
yet.
talking about. So at the end of the day,
But you know, like I say all that to say this: use your resources. If you're going to build something, it's okay to sit back and figure it out. Make sure you're in some deals that can expire in 2 or 3 years.
Just like he did, right? He used Connected, right? Like he used their resources to help spread the Cookies brand, to bankroll it. Short-term deal, 2 to 3 year deal. He absorbed all of that. It helped build up the brand. And then the brand was, obviously much more popping by then. So he has a lot more leverage going into other negotiations with other parties. And that's what he did. Right.
Get the game, soak the game up, kind of picture the bigger vision of what you could do if you had your own situation. It was hard sometimes. I knew that if they're paying me $100,000 a month for them stores, what were they really making growing our weed?
That's a great point too. They're paying you that fucking much, man, they're cashing the fuck out.
In all those stores, lines out the door, they were killing it.
Millions.
$100,000. They were glad to give me that every month, and I was glad to take it because by the time I was ready, I was all the way ready.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I was good.
This episode of $1 Million Worth of Game is brought to you by.
I'm looking around. It was a bunch of us. We're deep.
Right here.
Who was the greatest? Where did you get the greatest weed you ever smoked in your life? I'm talking about that one thing that you ever smoked in your life that just had.
All right, guys. So I hope that this live stream educated y'all. I've been looking at this whole situation, right, for the last couple years, right? I mean, I'm a big student of the game, right? I hear little bits and pieces about different things, right, and slowly put this little puzzle together. But because of obviously first smoke of the day, kind of adding a massive component to that, the connected side, right? But there's a lot that we can learn from this. I'm not bringing this up to bring up beef. I'm not bringing this up to bring up drama. I want to make that very clear, right? I know people maybe in the in maybe the burner, whoever's camp, right? They may think, oh, you're just trying to bring. No, this is to bring value to you guys because we can learn from observing, right? There's a reason why I've done so many fucking videos on burner because there's a lot to learn there. There's a reason why, so observe, right, guys? And at the end of the day, I think it's beautiful to see what was happening with Connected and Cookies. They're both popping off. They're doing really, really well. And but going back to the title of this live stream, right? But the title of this live stream being, let me remember it, right? Cookies and Connected Cannabis, a necessary conflict. Was this a necessary conflict? Because without this conflict happening, both sides wouldn't have learned, right? Burner may have not learned how powerful the brand that he was building is, that front side, right? And Caleb and Connected, they realized, oh shit, we need our own brand. We can't rely on somebody else's identity, somebody else's IP, right? So there's a lot to learn from the situation, okay? And I know that there was definitely some massive beef, couple years ago between Connected and Burner and Cookies, but I think that's all patched up now. And so, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think both sides made smart business moves. I think both sides learned lessons. And I think both sides wouldn't be the companies they are today without this conflict, without this, business conflict, right? All right. Anyways, guys, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, please share this with your friends. I really, really appreciate you all. And yeah, guys, seriously, thank you guys so much. I can't tell you guys how appreciative I am. I hope you guys learned something from this. I want to say big shouts out to the triple OG Caleb and Connected and everyone over on that side. I want to say big shouts out to Burner, triple OG, and everyone on that side. And I want to say, obviously, big shouts out to First Smoke of the Day, putting on for the culture. Shout out to Black Leaf. Shout out to Pack God. Seriously, been crushing it. And I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you got some value from this. Appreciate you guys. And yeah. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed. My name is LNC. Stay tapped in. Stay locked in. I'm gonna see y'all soon. Peace.